Pascagoula, Mississippi. October 11, 1973. Around 9 p.m., Charles Hickson, 42, and Calvin Parker, 19, were fishing off a dock on the west bank of the Pascagoula River. They heard a low zipping sound. A bluish-gray, oval craft appeared above the water. According to both men, it did not land. It hovered. Then something came out of it. Hickson described 3 figures emerging from the craft. Not walking, floating, moving toward them without bending their legs. He described them as roughly humanoid, around 5 feet tall, with gray, wrinkled skin, claw-like hands, and no visible eyes, just cone-shaped protrusions where the ears and nose would be. Parker collapsed immediately, apparently unconscious. Hickson said he was floated, not carried, floated, through the air into the craft. He described being held horizontal in midair inside a brightly lit room. A device he compared to a large mechanical eye moved slowly over his body, as if scanning him. He could not move. The entire experience, by his estimate, lasted around 20 minutes. Calvin Parker's account was more fragmented. He said he lost consciousness almost immediately after the figures approached and remembered very little of what happened inside. In later interviews, decades after the initial report, Parker stated he had withheld details for years, including what he described as a more prolonged and distressing examination, because he feared public ridicule. Both men were returned to the riverbank. Hickson said he found Parker on his knees, crying and praying. Neither man left the scene immediately. Hickson sat in his car for nearly an hour before deciding to report it. His first call was not to police, it was to Keesler Air Force Base. The base referred him to local law enforcement. They drove to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and reported the incident to Captain Glenn Ryder. Sheriff Fred Diamond was also present. Both officers noticed the men were visibly shaken, Hickson's hands were trembling. The officers made a tactical decision. They placed the 2 men alone in a room with a hidden recording device, hoping to catch them contradicting each other or laughing it off. The recording showed neither man relaxing, joking, or contradicting their account. Hickson is heard saying, quietly, "I've never seen nothing like that in my life." Parker can be heard crying. When the officers re-entered, Hickson reportedly said, "I know y'all think we're crazy, but I don't care." This happened. The tape became part of the official case record. Dr. J. Allen Hynek, former scientific consultant to the Air Force's Project Blue Book, traveled to Pascagoula and interviewed both men. So did journalist and UFO researcher Dr. James Harder from UC Berkeley. Harder conducted hypnotic regression sessions with Hickson. Both researchers stated publicly that they found the witnesses credible. No physical evidence, impressions, radiation, debris was recovered from the site. The mundane explanations, a shared hallucination, a deliberate hoax, or a misidentified natural phenomenon. Against those, the hidden recording, the independent consistency of both accounts under stress, and Hynek's assessment. No financial gain followed for either man. Parker avoided publicity for decades. The Air Force never formally classified the case. It remains officially unexplained. Charles Hickson maintained his account until his death in 2011. Calvin Parker went public again in 2018 with a book expanding on details he had kept private for 45 years. 2 men. 1 night. A hidden tape that didn't give investigators the contradiction they expected. So what do you think? Is there a rational explanation, or is something else going on? Drop a comment below, and if you've had an encounter of your own, we want to hear about it. Subscribe to WT Historical for more documented cases from the edge of history.